Hi, I'm April.
And I'm Bayleigh.
We are real-life friends and neighbors.
Together we run a business called Pastels Designs.
Our favorite part of our job is being in people's homes and hearing their stories. As we became inspired by these stories, we wanted to share them with others. That's where the Nestled podcast was born.
So join us each week as we are encouraged to pursue our own design decisions based on what we love instead of what fills our Instagram feed. Every home has a story, and we can't wait to hear yours. Happy Thanksgiving!
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone!
This week, just in honor of Thanksgiving, we wanted to say that we're thankful for you guys.
We are so thankful that you have been joining us each week and listening in. And
yeah, this was just an idea, a little seed of an idea about 8 weeks ago, and now we're 6 episodes in, and we are so humbled that we have people who listen every week.
Yeah, and have been so encouraging to us and told us that they've been inspired and encouraged by the people that we've had on the show, but also by us, and that's just a really, really cool thing that we've been able to be a part of. And so thank you guys. We're thankful for you this week.
Yes, thank you, thank you.
So this week we are actually wrapping up our series on the ladies of Main Street, Lucedale. And today we have the much anticipated mom of the group, Nan Jemison. And Nan is a longtime friend. My husband and I were able to work with her and her husband for quite some time on staff at a church. And she really is someone that I look up to as a wife and a mom, and just a really kind and loving and generous person. And so I have learned so much from her in my life already, and I think you guys are going to be inspired and love her as well. So we are so excited.
Yay!
The long anticipated Nan Jemison is with us today.
Hey, Miss Nan, how are you?
Oh, I'm great. How are you girls?
We're
We're
doing
good.
good. We're so excited to have you with us today.
I know there's been a little bit of a build-up since you're part 3 of our series, and we've heard a lot about the mama.
Yes, your girls have such great things to say about you, as do I. Whenever we, when we've talked about who we wanted to have on the show, we actually, Bayleigh and I both, one of the first people that came to our minds was you, and we were both like, we have to interview Nan, and for different reasons, but
yeah.
So well, y'all, sweet. I'm honored. Thank you.
So to start us out, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and your family?
Oh, of course. I'd be glad to do that. I married I guess you'd say, childhood sweetheart. We met when I was 12 and he was 14.
Goodness.
So God has been so gracious and blessed us greatly. We have 3 adult daughters, married daughters. It's hard to believe.
It happens fast.
I know. Jordan is 28, Bayleigh is 26, and Taylor is 23. And then we have some beautiful grandbabies. Cooper is 6, Rayleigh is 5, and Chapman and Hudson are 2. So we have been extremely blessed. My husband is the pastor at Journey Church here in Lucedale. We planted here and moved to Lucedale 2 years ago. And I have a little business, children's boutique called Buttons and Bows. That's a little bit about us in a nutshell.
Did you ever think that you would own a children's boutique? Is that something you wanted to do, or did that just happen?
Oh, goodness. No, I didn't. Most of the job positions that I had after my children were grown were, I was a clinique consultant, and then a lot of times I was a secretarial position in administration type things. So I didn't. This is one of those situations where one of my children inspired me, and Bayleigh had a boutique here in Lucedale and carried a few children's things, and she kept telling me that it was a great need here, and I began to ponder that and pray about that, and decided to go into that venture. And that's one of those things I tell my customers I never would have done if it weren't for my girls doing what they've done before me. So to all your moms out there, your children are going to grow up and teach you some things. So I decided to do that, and it just feels wonderful and natural and like something I should have been doing all along. So God kind of works things out like that.
Would you say that your home your business is an extension of your home, in the way that, I know being on Main Street in Lucedale, you have a lot of repeat customers, so you got people coming in often. Do you think that it's just kind of an extension of your house that you live in, and also of your of just your life as far as inviting people in?
Yes, in a way, one of the reasons I wanted to do the boutique was to be out in the community meeting people.
Mhm.
A lot of my jobs, I was contained in an office, so didn't get to meet and see a lot of people, and it's been a wonderful way to meet people. So it is an open door, and I love to, have the music going in there. I like to have it smelling good and greet everybody where it's a relaxing place to shop. And I've had some wonderful conversations in there, and just met people. It's like I have a whole new family.
Right.
Mhm.
And does it smell of Windex and and,
What did you?
and Pine Sol like your house?
It's not a plug, but no, it's usually Noodle and Boo room spray.
Oh.
But I mean, I have tween clothing and all that too. But I
Mhm.
just love that smell. So not so
Mhm.
much like Windex.
Right. Yeah. And we'll make sure that we post links so people can shop online at your boutique if they're not local too, because you have the cutest stuff.
Do you ship, Nan?
I do. I
Good.
do. I do
Good.
have a website. I primarily use Instagram and
Mhm.
Facebook and
Mhm. So, one of the things that I think everybody is, I would say younger moms, and I'm getting to the point that I'm not necessarily like a fresh mom, as I'm about to have a high schooler, but
I can't believe that.
it's crazy. But for ladies, even not moms, but ladies who are saying like, I want to open my home, I want to have people in. What are some practical ways that you have found to make your home a safe place, a welcoming place for family and friends, and even for people that you've just met? Because you're so great at inviting people in. I know that from experience. You didn't really know us, and you were like, come to our house for dinner, and you're just so welcoming. But what are some things that you have done in difficult seasons and seasons that are really busy to make that possible?
Oh goodness. In the last 2 years since we've got here and we moved in the tiny house, I kind of I went from about 2,200 square feet to 1,000, and so regretfully, I have not been real inviting. Um, right now, my living room is about 11 by 14, so I have a love seat, a recliner, and a glider. So if people are gliding rocking chairs, so when people come in here, we sit about four people, and then everybody else is on the floor. So it has not been a real gracious time of my life to have people in because I just don't feel like they will be as comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But really, just you get stuck on everything being perfect, and I
Right.
think it really has hindered fellowship and hospitality because women are so it's like if it's not perfectly clean, I can't have anyone in, and it just keeps us all separated from one another.
Right.
So I really need to improve in that area, and I look forward to when I do get a bigger home to be more hospitable. Um, I was, like you said, better in the past, so that's one thing that just life is a little different for us right now.
Right.
But we all know, and it's just so true that when someone walks through the threshold of your house, soon as they walk in, your relationship changes.
That's
Yeah.
right.
You think about it, it's so important, and so I guess I'm saying y'all be better than I am, and in this season of my life, it's a little bit small around here, but I look forward to hosting more in the future. But just it is so true. When they walk in, the next time you see them, your relationship's different. So
Right. We,
home is real important.
you know, um, we moved in the last year. Both Bailey and I did into small houses, and it is a struggle. Um, we have we're still hosting a small group in our house, and we're at a little less than 1,100 square feet with 7 people that live there.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then we have about 30 people every Tuesday night, and it it would be easy for me to say, I'm just going to close the door to this. And there have been a few times, especially like new people at the church and that kind of thing, that I'm like a little hesitant to have them over because I know like they don't live in a tiny house and they don't really understand. And we've laughed when people get there and they're like, "Where do y'all all eat?" And I'm like, "We all eat at this table. We do. We squeeze
Yeah.
real tight." And,
We love each other.
but but I think that we all have this standard of perfection that we think if it's not just so, we can't invite people in, and that's just not true because
Right.
We can serve somebody coffee sitting on the floor, and that's, you know.
Well,
Right. It's really more about how they feel when they're in your house. It's not about how everything looks. And I've actually had friends in my life that were so perfect that it was intimidating to me.
Right.
No, and I didn't feel comfortable in their space because it was just too perfect.
mm-hmm.
So you could take that both ways.
Right, right. Well, and to encourage you, you're one of the most hospitable people that we know.
Right.
So bring people into that 1,000 square feet. They
Yes.
will not be uncomfortable.
They will love to sit on your floor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll come
see,
sit on your floor anytime.
well, thank y'all for encouraging me. Yes.
So now that you have grown kids, what are some things that you have learned about making your house a place that your kids want to come home to?
Oh, goodness. Well, I know what works every time. You cook a home cooked meal and say, come over. So,
If you
if
feed
you
them,
cook,
they will come.
yes. But I was going to say, if you cook, they will come.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's just unconditional love. I like to tell moms, their eyes should light up when they see their babies, no matter what. And so your babies are your babies forever. So I still like to give them a hug, and I hope my eyes light up when I see them. So
I know they do, and I know they feel that because I remember when your girls were teenagers, even walking through with you, and you loved those girls even when it was hard. Every day wasn't easy. There were some harder days than others.
yes, like y'all, I mean, and the stage of life you're in now, I had that newborn 2-year-old, 4-year-old. So there were those days when it's really, really tough, but they truly are my best friends. My goodness, I don't know what I would do. I tell people that all the time. They're my best friends, and we're in a constant group text all day long, every day.
Right.
And I love their husbands. So thankful for them. That's something I've prayed for since the girls were little, and now I have all three
Right.
of the son-in-laws. So
Do
God
you
has been good to us.
do you cook special things for the husbands?
The husbands, yes. They like steak and roast. So when life slows down, it's just been a really crazy 2 years since we got here. But I love to cook for them because I love to see somebody sit down and enjoy a meal. And
right.
they really,
they do that.
especially Ben. Ben likes to tell me everything's wonderful. So
well, that's an encouragement to me as a mom of 3 girls that, they can be my friends one day. Because right now I want them to be my friends, and that's not always the best parenting strategy, is it?
No, it is not. It is not. I'm glad you brought that up, Bayleigh, because you go in stages, and you can't be their. You're their mom. You're the only mom they'll ever have, and they've got plenty of friends.
Right.
But after they get older, it's plenty of time to be friends after that.
Well, I know that anyone who listened to the last 2 episodes definitely know that you've achieved that, because both Taylor and Bayleigh cried anytime they tried to talk about you.
Oh, good.
Because they love you that much. So
they do.
Well, that just
sweet.
proves, hey, and that will be proof for the young moms that are ready to strangle their kids every day, because that was me sometimes, and love covers a multitude of sins. So they're very forgiving, because I promise you I'm not all that.
Oh, well, changing gears a little bit, you talked about how you moved into a tiny home, you guys downsized, but I guess your style still kind of stays the same. So how would you describe your style?
Oh, goodness. I think I like the farmhouse stuff, but I still have a lot of shabby chic French country, because I'm a pastel loving person. I try to get away from that. So my shop has helped me a lot with that, because it's a lot of pastels. But I like a lot of the rustic country farmhouse stuff too.
And is design something that comes natural to you? Is it something you enjoy, or is it something that you've kind of had to work to kind of figure out?
I think that I had a knack for it when I was younger. And I think it's like when I'm getting older, it's like I have a harder time making up my mind what to do. And in this little house, I pretty much had one wall in the living room, and it like took me forever. Bayleigh especially said, "Mother, just put something on the wall." And I'm like, "But I only have one wall. It's got to look really good."
It's got to be the perfect one.
I only have one wall. So I think in my living room, I only have um, two pieces that were in my other house because I had to search for some more petite, little inexpensive pieces. But I would say I had to learn a lot, and I'm still learning. How about that?
Every time I think about you and your style, I definitely think French country
Me too. I was thinking the
describes
same
you
thing.
really well. And I think you just embrace it. I think you just continue to embrace the pastels and like the flowers because I just can't imagine you without it.
And look,
Yeah,
if
I
Mr.
like
Barry has
flowers.
dealt with it this long,
He's-
he's fine with the
he's
pink and the
fine.
pastel and the flowers. So go with it if it makes you happy, you know?
That's right. When I designed the logo for my shop, I said, "I think I've got it. I think I found the perfect one." He said, "Let me guess, pink and blue and florals." Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, I've known you since you were 12. I know you.
I know, but only thing I have in here really is my dishes are, um, have floral
The
on it.
floral.
Yeah, I'm getting a little different. So
Your girls are trying to modern you up.
yes. Oh my goodness, they keep me straight in my clothes and my house. So.
Oh, goodness.
That's funny.
So we know that Taylor and Bayleigh both said that you inspire them, but who or what inspires you?
That's interesting. Barry, my husband, he definitely inspires me to be a better person spiritually. Um, those of you who know him, he will share with you and tell you the truth, whether it hurts or not. And so he encourages me in that area. And the girls inspire me a lot in different ways. Each one of them are gifted different, and I see things in them that I would like to have more in me. So I'm inspired by a lot of things, but closest to me, my family.
And so I know that you said you wish you had a little more room, but is there any other part of your house right now that you would like to change?
Oh goodness, it is a cute, cute little house, and we're very thankful to have it. We just some little things that we will touch up when we get ready to put it on the market, and when we sell something, we want to make sure that it's all good and perfect for the next person. So there's some little things like that we will do, but other than that, we're really comfortable here.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I want it to be, I love it, except when it comes time for entertaining or having my family.
Right.
I want the grandbabies to have a space to play, and I want them to love to come to Nana and Pop's house, and for it to be really special for them. So really, that's just it. More space.
Yeah.
More space for them, and more just, I guess, for me to know it's where I'm going to stay, so I can start
Right.
investing. And I know it's temporary, so that's a little
Right.
different.
Right. So with that, what is something specific in there that you're just loving?
Oh, there's one thing that I've got, and I was in my shop one day and I saw one of the rustic blanket ladders.
Oh yeah.
I use some things like that in my store too. And I was just looking at it and was trying to think for that one special wall that and I have 4 grandbabies, and this ladder had 4 rungs on it. So I started looking at that thing and decided to put it horizontally on the back of my couch. And I went to Hobby Lobby, plugged the greatest shop of all, and hung those pictures of my black and white pictures of my grandbabies in the center of each one of those rungs on the ladder. And that's my favorite thing. And they're growing so fast, I need to update my pictures already. Barry helped me with it because he's real precise in measuring and hanging things. But it's one of my
Nan,
favorites.
you would appreciate this because I'm kind of a mess at times. We are the worst at hanging things.
Yeah, it's so bad.
We have to get Lance and Justin to come at the end of a job, and we're like,
We have 35 things. They're placed on the walls that they go on.
we need
Can
you to
come
hang
and
them
hang
for
them
us.
for us?
Bayleigh,
Oh,
I'm not going to say which one of us But one of us hung a shelf in a bathroom
It fell last
couple
week.
weeks ago, and it fell last week. And they texted us and were like, "Oh my gosh, this just fell and scared us half to death." And we were like,
I
"Sorry,
like.
Sorry.
we should have gotten Lance to hang that one for
He had
us."
been there, too.
He was there, but we forgot about that.
Yeah.
He had hung some other things.
Well, see, God knew what y'all were going to be doing and gave y'all husbands that could show up and help y'all because,
That's right.
I'm like, well, this looks good. And I just rear back and put the nail in the wall. And Barry's like with the tape measure, measuring from the top of the wall to the floor. And so I know when he does it, it's right. And so
Yeah.
thank goodness he
When-
helped me with a little project.
Yeah. When we went to move from our last house, whenever it was time to sell it, and we took the gallery wall down, Justin was like, "What in the world?" There
There were so many.
There's so many holes. Like each thing, I would hang and be like, "Oh no, that needs to go like a half a centimeter to the right. Well, now it needs to go a little bit down." So everything had like 6 little holes, But anyway, the end
I know.
result.
That sounds like me. And Barry always tells everybody I would hang things on straight pins.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
said, yes, you did. You did. You hung stuff with straight pins.
I've hung things on push pins before. I have. I'll admit that. I also, though, can really appreciate how you said you spent so much time on that wall, because I do that too. I can leave a wall blank while I wait for the perfect thing. I know April's real good about getting something up immediately, but I can just dream on it and think on it before I finally settle.
I like to put it all together quickly, but here I just had so much going on, and I thought it has to look good because it's only one wall. So I have a window over that with a boxwood wreath and our initials hanging in the wreath.
That's
so I
cute.
got happy with that. So
Yeah, you'll have to take the Enneagram. I sent Bayleigh a link and she took it, but I'll have to send it to you too. We interviewed the Enneagram lady and she's going to talk a little bit about personalities and design and how each type kind of interacts within decorating and that kind of thing. So I'm interested to know, and I say that because the perfectionist, I don't know, sometimes that comes out in different types. So I'm interested to know what you are.
yeah, that would be interesting. I know I'm very symmetrical at everything I go about. So it's hard
Bailey
for
said that too, so she must get that from you.
Yeah. Well, her dad is too. He's one of the biggest perfectionists I've ever met.
be careful. He might listen.
No, I want him to listen in the best way.
Yeah, she means that in a good way.
I say that with a smile because I appreciate that about him. Like, he doesn't halfway do anything.
That's true. And that is that's a good character trait. It is.
It is. And how handy has that come whenever you've been redoing old buildings to turn them into businesses?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
In closing, I know when we sent Nan these questions, there was she does a lot of speaking to moms, and so she's kind of got this sweet spot in her heart for young moms, and she's so great at being a mom because we've heard from her kids and how much they love her and adore her. But so what would you share your advice with a young mom with young kids who feels it's impossible to get her home to look perfect, and so it feels like you shouldn't even try because you can't do it all, and you just feel so overwhelmed? And I know there was something you wanted to share with us outside of just some advice, so we would love to hear from you on that.
Oh, yes. Goodness, I think all of us that have had little children around our feet, messing up the house quicker than you can clean it up is one of the hardest things if you are a perfectionist and you like to keep everything together. And one thing I have told ladies when I'm talking to them that I feel like I failed terribly at is I was that mom who wanted everything in place and everything done, and then I would read the book, or then I would play dolls, or then I would go outside. And that's one of my regrets, that your child is not going to remember mom kept the house perfect. They're going to remember those times that you went on a picnic, or you went for a walk, or you went to the park and you played. So that's probably the advice I give the most, is just the house is going to be there when you get back. But believe me, my baby's 23 and married now. It really goes by so fast. When you're in the middle of it, it doesn't feel like it. But it's that little adage that you hear all the time that the days are long and the years are short. But I've shared this little poem, and I hope I can get through it because it's really heartfelt, but I think it will help some moms that have been there and going there, and living in it right now. It's just called If I Had My Child to Raise Over Again. And it's a lot of advice in just a few lines. It said, if I had my child to raise all over again, I'd build self-esteem first and the house later. I'd finger paint more and point the finger less. I would do less correcting and more connecting. I'd take my eyes off my watch and watch with my eyes. I would care to know less and know to care more. I'd take more hikes and fly more kites. I'd stop playing serious and seriously play. I would run through more fields and gaze at more stars. I'd do more hugging and less tugging. I'd see the oak tree in the acorn more often. I'd be firm less and affirm much more. I'd model less about the love of power and more about the power of love.
That's so sweet.
So
Yes.
that's a beautiful reminder to invest in them and not necessarily what the house looks like.
Right.
Mhm.
And
I
I
love
think
that.
that's great advice for people in general. Even one of the things that we've talked about is that as moms, sometimes we can forget that there are people around us who are not moms, who
Right.
either want to be or are just not in that stage of life yet. And honestly, to see people and love people well is like across the board good. You know?
Right.
Like I don't think we can go wrong with loving more. And
No.
and I think that just that's where you get from feeling like things have to be perfect to just inviting people into your life, period. Is when you start to look around and you start to actually see people and see the world and, enjoy life in a different way instead of just marking the task off.
And I think it's even harder now with social media
Yeah.
to be conscious of that, because a lot of times we feel like we're interacting with people and loving people because we're seeing them online and we're not actually involved in their lives at
Right.
all. And
That's
so
true.
that's a good encouragement to pay attention.
Right. Technology, yes, will actually separate you from people. You think that everybody's more connected, but you're right. There's less meaningful face-to-face conversations.
And when you are face to face with somebody, you're distracted half the time by your phone because you've got a computer in your hand. I'm holding one right now.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're right.
Okay, so Nan, the thing that I want to close out with you is I want to hear your definition of home.
Okay. The first thing that comes to mind to me is sanctuary or refuge. The world can be a tough place, and I think you want your home to be warm and inviting and a safe place for your family to be. Just loving and warm and welcome, a refuge and a sanctuary. I think that's what comes to mind to me. And of course, family, that just goes with it.
Right. I love that.
I do too.
Well, so tell us where people can find you on the internet, because I know everybody's like, I need more of Mama Nan in my life.
Oh gosh. Of course, Instagram and Facebook. Barry is not on, but I am. It's just Nan Jemison. And then Journey Church is on Facebook. And we've been broadcasting live each week. And I usually share that on my personal page too. And then Buttons and Bows Lucedale on Instagram and Facebook.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I know that you're busy, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah, and you have so much wisdom to give us. So I'm so thankful to hear from you today. And I know everybody's going to, like Bayleigh said, it was like the Nan is coming.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Well, it's been an honor. You girls keep up the good work. I enjoy listening to all your podcasts. So any way I can be helpful in the future, I would love to.
Thank you so
Nan.
much.
It's so good to talk to you. We'll talk to you soon. Hey, we're coming to Lucedale soon, so we're gonna
I can't wait. Yeah.
we're gonna have a tour. Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. Y'all come. I'd love to have y'all.
Okay.
Awesome. All right. Bye.
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 Don't you guys want to be like Nan?
Yes, I do.
Yes, me too. So there are several things that we love that Nan said, and one of them was that she talked about how her eyes light up every time her kids walk in the room. And no matter how old they get, that's still something that she thinks about. And I remember her telling me that when my kids were little. And I was so thankful for that reminder. Because there's something special about when somebody sees you across the room and you look into their eyes and they are so genuinely just overjoyed to see you.
Yeah. Yeah. And every person just wants to feel loved. And
Right.
who better to love your babies than you?
Yeah. And,
So.
We often tell our kids, my husband and I do, that, like, we're proud of you, not because of what you've done, not because of anything that you could earn in our love, but because you're ours.
Right.
And there's something about that light and that sparkle in your eye when you see your babies that just is because they're yours. And you just adore them because they're yours.
And I'll tell you this. Between the two of us, there are 8 adored babies.
Yes.
Maybe to their detriment sometimes, but we sure do love them.
Yes, I was kissing on my oldest, almost 14-year-old baby tonight, and he was turning a little red-faced, and Lance was laughing, and I was like, I don't care. He's smiling because he loves me, and
That's
he loves
right.
that I'm kissing on him.
Another thing that we really loved is when she said that as soon as someone walks through the threshold of your home, the relationship changes. And that is something that I'm going to remember and to use again and again. I know we talk a lot about, inviting people in and how important that is, but whenever she worded it that way, it was kind of an aha moment for me.
Yeah.
And it's so true. When you have
so
someone
true.
to your house, the next time you see them, your friendship is a step further.
Right.
And so I hope some of you guys will just use that as an encouragement going into this Thanksgiving week.
Right. It's Tuesday. When you hear this, it's going to be Tuesday. So you still have 2 days.
Right.
Until
Invite
Thanksgiving.
somebody.
And invite someone to your family's Thanksgiving. Invite them to your own home. Like, have someone in.
It's never as awkward as it sounds, I promise.
Right. I'm excited. We're planning on just having some people over Thanksgiving evening, whoever can and wants to stop by. We've invited some random neighbors, and we'll see who shows up. But just to have a fire in the backyard and hang out, because we actually have some cool weather right now.
Yeah, if you're local, hit us up.
You can come to the backyard fire. We'll be glad to have you. And also, we're really excited. Our favorite event that we do every year for the last 5 years is a Thanksgiving meal that we decorate for, and it actually was kind of how our business started years ago. We realized how we could work together, and it's just a good working relationship creatively for us, and that was through this Thanksgiving dinner that we do with our church. And this year, and for the last few years, we invite the local foster families, and we get to serve them in a small way. And it's such a blessing. And if you have an opportunity to serve in your community, do that. Use this as an opportunity to look around and see the people around you. And we're really excited about an upcoming interview.
Yes. Next week, you're going to hear from Courtney DeFeo, and she is going to talk with us all about a movement, I guess you could say, that she started called Light 'em Up. And we think that the Christmas season is the perfect time to participate in this. And she just encourages you to notice the people around you and do some nice things, whether it's with your kids or just a group of friends or your spouse, whoever. Just notice the people who aren't always noticed. And so we're really excited for you guys to hear that as we move into this holiday season. And we hope that you'll tune in and be encouraged by all the things that she had to say.
Yeah, and be encouraged by the things that Nan talked about as a mom, but also kind of what we were saying of, like, you don't have to be a mom to notice people around you and to stop and not get so wrapped up in the list of to-dos and all of that, but to really take the time to
notice people.
Yeah.
Reach out to them. So with that, we hope that you all have a great and blessed Thanksgiving with your family and friends. As always, you can find us over on Instagram at Poshness Designs. We're also on Twitter and Facebook under the same name. And we would be extra thankful this Thanksgiving week if you would stop by on iTunes and leave us a review.
And our website is poshnessdesigns.com. So visit us and be looking on Instagram. We'll give you a heads up before we head to Lucedale for a tour. Bayleigh has offered to be our hostess.
Bayleigh Eubanks.
Yeah,
not Bayleigh me.
So be looking for some more details about that on Instagram and follow us there.
All right. See you guys next week.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.